consumption, which is the next topic that we have, is an area of huge environmental impact, and it's an area of huge cash opportunity for companies and for the green consultants that are helping those companies. Reason being is there's a lot of money surrounding energy right now. There is basically a federal government-wide push to change our entire economy from fossil fuel dependent energy production to renewable energy production produced and manufactured here in the United States. So manufactured and produced here in the United States. And there is an entire, the entire stimulus bill is not built around this, but there is a vast section of the stimulus bill built into making that happen and decreasing our dependence on foreign oil as a strategic issue. So there is an awful lot of money out there in terms of insulation and getting buildings insulated. So there's a lot of federal tax credits, grants, and I don't want to go too far into grants because grants are a tough game to play in. But there's an awful lot of money out there in terms of reducing our energy consumption in terms of these buildings, and getting them retrofitted, and the energy production side of it, getting to large windmills or even small windmills. There's credits for businesses there, credits for consumers there. Certainly a ton of credits for consumers there. Solar energy, there's credits for. Geothermal energy, there's credits for. There's a lot of stuff going on in that space. And of course, there's the fleet issue of vehicles, wherein you've got all these cars out there, and what are they doing? One of the biggest opportunities that I see for the United States to kind of get back its mojo in the manufacturing industry is by getting the Chevy Volt rolled out and getting good, solid acceptance on that. For those people that don't know what the Chevy Volt is, this is a vehicle, a car, that's looking to get between 200 and 250 miles per gallon. It's an electric-based vehicle. There's always environmental issues around everything, but the more that we can get green energy production into the picture, the more we can make it so that there is a very small environmental impact from using vehicles. And that will be a sea change for human beings' environmental impact, and it will be a sea change for the U.S. manufacturing industry if we can beat our competitors to market with innovative products like that. So that's one large area of environmental impact, and it's a big area for businesses to capitalize on. So we get, in terms of energy consumption, energy production, one of the things that we like to talk about is what affects a company's brand. Because brands sell products, products don't sell products. Good example of this is when you go out and you say, so, what kind of window cleaner do you use? People say Windex. Well, Windex is a brand. They've got a lot of products under Windex, but everybody thinks of Windex. When people say, what's your favorite drink? Usually, if it's a soda, they're not going to say soda. They're going to say Coca-Cola, Coke, Pepsi, or Sprite. They're going to talk about the brand, usually. Bottled water doesn't quite have that unless people are talking about the Richie stuff like Avion. But in reality, brands sell. And one thing that we like to talk about in terms of affecting businesses' brands is to have them switch over to a green power provider. That's a brand-affecting issue when you say that you're green-powered. People are making a big, wide stand on this in terms of branding their product lines with saying that it's green-powered. And consumers are taking notice. There's about 12% of consumers, which are called dark greens. They only buy products that are green. And somewhere in the neck of the woods, about 64% of consumers are called light greens. Light greens means they make decisions based upon what's on the label in terms of the environment sometimes. So from a consumer level, If you're a business selling to consumers, you definitely want to think about doing something like this. For businesses selling to businesses, guess what? Some of those green consumers are also green business people that make purchasing decisions too. So it gives them an excuse to buy your product in their own mind. And sometimes that's all it takes to get somebody to make a decision. So we would say, definitely go out and try and find out what your green power options are locally. Most utilities do offer a green option now. And in terms of energy, consumption, production, all of that, we get into some small things. We get into, do all of your computers at work enter power save mode, and is that functionality still enabled? Because end users like to turn that off. We like to talk about making that an IT, a global IT function at companies to make sure that power save mode stays on the computers and that end users don't have the ability to change that unless they're at the executive level, because those folks, you just want them to be able to do what they want to do. What temperature do people set their thermostats at is a big one. There's actual productivity numbers out there. The productivity numbers are, let's see if I have those here handy.